Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
This is So I'm Watching the Show, your new favorite pop culture YouTube channel where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. I wanted to record an intro because we're going to release some very old test footage of ours that was Riverdale. We covered season 1 and 2 of Riverdale, and because we have had so much fun with that show, for better and worse, and because it's been one of some of our most popular content, I was like, we've got this footage. It's not great. Like, our audio's bad. Yeah. We look different. There is no set. Yeah. But I think ultimately at the end of the day, I think the conversation is good. Mm-hmm. And I think it's worth releasing.
It's in my old dining room.
So yeah, we're definitely going to release season 2. And that's what this is. This is just a little intro for our Riverdale season 2 content. So you got to have options.
I see.
So please do enjoy. What was this episode called?
Brave New World.
And it's coming out tonight.
I don't think.
Gonna step outside.
Don't think that's the context of this one.
So this was the calm after the storm. There's plot that happens. There's plot that needs to be discussed. But
maybe more like the eye of the hurricane.
Well, for the season, I mean, obviously it keeps going, but there's things obviously that need to be touched upon. But for the most part, it was sort of everybody.
It was a wrapping up.
Yeah, sort of like coming together and discussing how they feel, whatever happened, the ramifications of everything. So Alice is hanging on by a thread.
As usual.
Mm-hmm. And Polly took this opportunity to introduce her to her cult.
Yeah.
I think I have someone who can help you, Mom. A friend of mine from the farm who healed me when I was so broken. I would love to invite him to come visit and talk to you.
Sure, I'll join your cult.
Well, she's been talking about the farm since season 1.
She really has.
In a way that we did not remember this time around, but she was like, there's someone at the farm, Alice, who I think can help you. And
so
that's happening.
We have no way of knowing if that plot will continue, but well, my first note actually just says, I cannot stress enough how much these kids are 16.
Yeah.
The things that the conversations they're having.
Well, Betty was like, I'm supposed to be this great detective. And I was like...
That was when I wrote it down.
Like, you're a child.
And when Veronica was like, I need to throw my political career away and focus on, like...
You were running for student body president. It's, like, not a real thing.
I know. Well, Cheryl is emancipated.
Yeah. Sierra helped her.
Yes. And so it's her and Nana Rose, basically. And
Penelope has the nerve to be, like, really butthurt about it, too. She's like, you think Nana Rose can care for you better than your own mother? And I'm just like, you don't care for her, though.
Well, she's also, like, Cheryl has, like, banished Penelope and Claudius to the barn.
Yeah.
Because they're big people, and that's where big people belong. But, of course... Cheryl discovers that they are in cahoots of sorts with Hiram.
Yeah.
We have also Cheryl gets I almost said indoctrinated. That's not the word.
Oh, now I lost it too. Initiated
into. I do that. I've done that several times. She gets initiated into the Serpents.
Yeah.
And they give her a spectacular red, like cherry red jacket that they don't actually really acknowledge. I kind of was waiting to see if that was...
She wears it a handful of times.
Oh, she wears it plenty of times, but I was waiting to see if that meant anything, or if they were just...
I think they just were like, Cheryl's cool now.
Obliging her.
Red's her color.
With her aesthetic. We got this scene with Kevin and Moose. I cannot explain what it does to me.
Moose, you okay? Midge's locker was trashed during the riot. Her books and her stuffed animals, it's all gone. You're gonna be okay, Moose.
like the sun came out.
And Moose is on the show a decent amount.
But not enough in my opinion.
I had forgotten how much he's on this whole season. There's so many episodes where he's there, like, even when he doesn't have, like, plot. And I understand the nature of shows where it's like when you have a massive ensemble like this. Because, I mean, this show has, like, 30 characters of consequence. And that's a lot. And you obviously can't keep all of them on retainer. You can't have them all be cast, and as stars rise, people go on and find other things.
Yeah.
And that's what, it's spoiler alert, that's what ends up happening with Moose, is he gets another show. And he still makes appearances on the show, but it leaves something to be desired.
Yeah.
And
Especially,
I had forgotten this scene that does really cement Moose and Kevin as love for the ages. And it's just, they're so good together, and I just believe it. And in a weird way, I can already hear the words I'm saying. I'm kind of like, no. It makes it, for me, it makes it not honor Midge, but it just, I don't know, the fact that, like, her death brought them together.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Makes it feel...
See, I would have thought that in that moment, Kevin would have been like, your girlfriend literally just died. But, you know.
So, yeah, like I said, I feel very passionately about it, and it's a thing, whatever. To your, where is Riverdale? Seaside High is 2 hours away. No word on which direction?
No.
Underneath?
But they are then presumably 2 hours from a coastline.
From AC.
Yeah.
The White Worm is the people, not a place.
I mean, that's what FP said something about that. The Serpents aren't the trailer park. They're like, whatever. Yeah, that's happened before.
We really like this episode, but it's just kind of
it's like a lot of wrapping up and not a lot of huge things until the very end.
And the Serpents get to stay at
Riverdale.
Yeah. Archie had to go to the police station to finger Hal.
I mean, I guess.
He did.
Phrasing.
It's a thing. And so now he's in the current prison, not Hiram's for-profit prison, but he's in the Riverdale's current prison's Hannibal Lecter ward.
Yeah.
You'll be back, Betty. You can move across the country. You can change the locks. You can throw me in the electric chair, but I will always keep you from getting the
because it is like the glass wall and everything. It's literally set up just
Never
like
changed,
Silence
no,
of the
but
Lambs.
it's so good. It's so perfect.
Well, so is he not in Shankshaw, maybe?
I guess.
I think that's like out of town.
I guess Shankshaw
but
is.
I think he's in Shankshaw.
Yeah. So, Hermione won Mayor, but she seems to have chosen Fred over her husband, kind of.
Yeah. Hiram ends this episode up and down from where he has previously been, where, like, his family has kind of been like...
They have finally woken up,
Yeah.
and for good, about him being a bad man.
Not
and
for good,
They have
but-
left. They have left him
Yeah,
forever.
but then he is then doing this, like, huge business thing with,
Well,
like...
he's established an axis of evil.
Yeah, it's like Penny and Penelope.
Penny's
and
troubleshooting.
He says a lot of words.
But the plan remains the same. The prison will soon be up and operational, with your drugs running through it, Claudius. Malachi and his ghoulies will be our soldiers and dealers, with Miss Peabody troubleshooting.
You promised me a brothel, Hiram.
All in good time, Madam Blossom.
Like,
I was trying to.
I'm surprised it wasn't just like that 30 Rock episode where Liz gives the presentation and she just goes, synergy.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like-
Penny is troubleshooting, and Penelope is the goddess of love, and Malachi is like the muscle.
Well, he's
and-
doing, it's like, it's going to be Claudius's drugs that Malachi and Penny are pushing.
Yeah.
And then Penelope's going to open a brothel.
And then Sheriff Minetta
And then
is...
Sheriff Minetta is like, yeah.
Are we missing someone? I feel like we're missing someone.
No,
but
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. But it just is like, I guess.
What's your problem? This was great.
No, it was great.
We think this is hilarious. It doesn't really pay off.
No,
in the way they establish it as a thing, and then as season 3 goes, they're like, oh.
There are not multiple meetings of these 5 people, which is a real
which
bummer.
is a bummer. Yeah, it's kind of a thing, but yeah. I was like, what are you bummed out about?
I will say Penelope really does do everything in her power to continue having a brothel for the rest of this show.
So far. So I'm trying to think. Everybody talked to everybody. Jughead survived, although that...
Jughead and Fangs both survived, yeah.
That opener where it's like Betty and Archie and Veronica at Jughead's grave.
Yeah.
And I forgot that it was a vision. I thought that maybe they were just going to be at like someone else, like at Jason's grave or something.
Sure.
No. And then they all talked and got all their stuff. I'm trying to think, is there anything else?
Well, Betty goes to see Hal in the prison. Did we say that?
Well, there's all this talk about like his evil genetic and I mean, no. But not no.
Yeah. I mean, it can be, but they spend a
traits can be inherited. Yeah. I mean, mental illnesses and like
they spend a real lot of time in the coming seasons about the serial killer genes specifically,
which are M83 and H1N1.
No. But it's really, really weird in a way that, like, Betty is putting too much stock in these genes. As,
like it's a curse? Yeah. Like a witch's spell or something?
Like Maleficent was like, and I give you the serial killer genes. But it's really, I don't know, I feel like she and the other Cooper women put a little too much stock in it,
So, yeah, I mean, that's we're not even 10 minutes.
Well, Archie.
What about Archie?
He gets arrested.
Oh.
It's like how it ends. That's how
nobody cares about Archie.
Well, Hiram apparently does because he thinks he is the glue holding this group of kids together. And I'm like, Archie is the Phoebe. He lifts right out. No.
Well, we have established Hiram's obsession with Archie.
So obsessed. So obsessed.
Yeah, so he's being... Again, I wanted to say indoctrinated. That's not it.
Initiated.
No, but
inaugurated.
Inaugurated. He's being inaugurated president, and
president.
Josie is singing the slowest, most indulgent rendition of the Star Spangled Banner,
like more than any Mariah Carey version.
And Sheriff Mineta shows up to arrest Archie for the murder of Cassidy Bullock. Who is
the boy from the woods?
Yeah.
In the episode where they all went to the cabin.
And at first, I like when Andre was dead last week, I was like rude, but then I was like, who cares about Andre? And then I was like, oh, he needs to be dead because he's the one who killed Cassidy.
Right. And that's the thing. So basically, Archie decides to grow some balls in this episode and goes to confront Hiram. And he's like,
I wanted you to detail this.
He's like saying all this shit, and he's like, I know all the secrets, and I know this and that, and if you don't leave like me and my family alone, I'm gonna make my bones with you.
I'm gonna make my bones once and for all.
And then he stabs a knife.
But it's filmed like he comes at Hiram, but then it cuts to the knife and the table.
And he barely makes it in like an eighth of an inch to the table.
But it's also like, what was all of this for, Archie? Because he leaves his parents.
Yeah.
Or, well.
It's Fred.
And like goes to the Pembroke and sneaks in the servants' quarters door.
That's a yikes.
I thought so as well. And then he just waits for Hiram to like meander it. Yeah, it was.
But it's like
a big show.
That's the thing about whenever Archie decides to grow balls is he always puts his foot in it and fucks himself over.
Oh, he trips over his dick.
If he hadn't done that, Hiram, I think, would not have had him arrested. But because he was like, I know all you did. I basically witnessed this murder. Hiram was like, hey, you basically witnessed that murder. You're gonna go to prison for it.
So yeah.
That's season 2.
Hopefully we will be back for season 3. Yay. It picks up, not right where this leaves off, but it picks up with the story appropriately. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And season 3 is a roller coaster.
It is.
Ups and downs.
Yeah, a lot.
It starts and ends on an up, we think.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
So, cool. I guess check back later, or follow us.
At So I'm Watching on Twitter, at So I'm Watching This Show on Instagram. We also have a website, soimwatching.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
You're supposed to dance with me.